No worse shit.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the Daily Drift. Welcome back, Drifters. So today, it's a beautiful day because I got a package. Yeah, they gave us the part, Rock Auto came in clutch, and now we've got the brake that we need to finish this entire job. The good news is I checked, it is the right one. We're not getting screwed again. So yeah, it's looking good. I'm excited. We got it all done. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move on to the front calipers. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rebuild them, and then we're also gonna work on repainting them. So we're gonna repaint all four because they were all kind of rusted and dirty and we're just trying to eliminate any potential issues where it might be rubbing because some of the spots where the brakes would slide were kind of sticking. So we're just gonna refresh everything, sand it all back, clean it up, get rid of that gaudy ass red brake caliper because I have a surprise for you guys because on the side I've been working on this car. You may not have noticed it, you may have, but I've been doing a lot of work to the body. And eventually we're going to be painting this thing. It's going to be a cheap paint job, but it's in line and it's something that's going to happen. And so the color of the car is going to be changing. And I don't want red brake calipers standing out against what this car is going to be looking like. So that's part of the reason that we're painting the calipers, long story short, or short story long, either way. One other disclaimer I want to put out there is that when you buy the rebuild kit for the fronts, it comes with these two little O-rings for each side. Now those go in between the calipers when you split them apart. According to the factory service manual and pretty much everything I've been reading, you're not supposed to split them apart. There's no torque spec for putting them back together. I don't know if those bolts are torque to yield, and it's an aluminum housing. So we may or may not be replacing those O-rings. We'll see when we get there. We'll see if we run into any issues, but I kind of doubt it. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to start by pulling off the wheel. I'm going to start getting this thing broken down so I can show you guys basically how it all works. It's pretty simple. The fronts are a little bit different than the rear. So if you're doing this, if you got an RX7, you want to know how to do this, I'll show you how to do it. But it's a little bit more challenging up front just because the way that the pistons come out. I believe they sell a tool for removing these, but we don't have one and we're going to improvise. So stick with me on this. So you want to know the best part about doing brakes on these things? Your wheel doubles as a seat. The teardown. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, I hate brake fluid. We're just gonna let that drip down there for a little bit. I was wrong. It's actually 17. Yeah, 17 on the front. Wow, that was super loose. That's not good. So after discovering my calipers were only hand tight, I pulled them off and drained the rest of the fluid. I got the rest of the drips out and then I moved on to removing the brake pads. It's pretty simple. There's these little clips in here that hold them in place and you just got to pick them out with a pick. It's pretty easy. The hard ones are the ones on the back. You kind of got to give it a little bit of a tug, but eventually they pop out. Kind of like this one. Wow, that went everywhere. Alright, I'll have to get that in a minute. And then you just slide the pins out. And pull the clip. And that's how you do brake pads. And then we just slide these little shims off the back, and that's pretty much how you tear it down. Now when it comes to removing the actual pistons, it's a little bit more complicated. That's where this hose comes into play. I basically just attach a rubber hose to an air supply from an air compressor and hook it into the valve where the brake line will go. These things can really cause some damage, so make sure that your fingers aren't in the way and that you use a wooden block to catch them. But it'll be worth it, trust me, because these things fly out at an incredible rate. See what I mean? Yeah, you don't want to lose a finger over it. So luckily most of them came out, but I had one that was being really, really stubborn. It didn't want to come out no matter what I did. I gave it some PB Blaster just to see if it would help. And then I tried using pliers, and yeah, I know pliers aren't right, but we tried. And when the pliers didn't work, we resorted to heat. And then we tried more prying. At this point, I really just wanted to get it out. It was so stuck in there that I needed to get it out if I was ever going to fix this thing. I guess it's true what they say about rotaries. They really don't like pistons, because this one certainly didn't want to come out.
Oh, I'm starting to see a little bit more. Ow. Oh, this hurts.
Just curious. I'm not the only one that talks to the car like it's their girlfriend, right?
Oh, come on, baby. Oh, come on. Right there. Look at that. It's so close.
Okay, just checking.
Can't rotate it. That is insane. I think it just needs more heat.
I think my daily driver is a struggle bus.
Okay, we got it to turn. That's a good sign. Oh, it's almost there. We're gonna get it. Spoke too soon. Damn it, that was so close. I thought that was it. Oh, here we go. It's right there. Look how close that thing is. Oh man. Oh, was that it? There we go. Holy cow. Look at that, we got it. Look at just how messed up that thing is. Holy cow. Jesus, I don't know if I can fix this one or not. Now up here, that's all my damage, but that's not as important. We didn't scratch this. This is just corrosion, so I'm gonna try to fix this up. You see there's a couple nicks there. Dang. So we may need a new piston for that one, because that was definitely seized. But we got it. So getting these little things out is really easy. Just take a pick. There's a little metal ring. You pop it up. Boom. Same thing on this side. Pop it up. Boom. Done. These ones were easier. They came up pretty far and should be able to just pop right out. They weren't really an issue. But you watch, now they're going to be an issue because I said that. I jinxed myself too much. There we go. There's one. Two. So I know in the comments, before you go blowing me up, I know you're not supposed to use pliers, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. These things will be fine. So there we go. Got it completely broken down. Good to go. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in there and clean all this up. So I don't know how much of that you guys got to see, but good lord. That took forever. Luckily we got it apart. The only problem is that one piece is pretty badly destroyed from me trying to get it out. I mean, it was seized. So that was definitely the issue with the brakes, at least in the front. The rear, we know for a fact the one side was broken. So yeah, it's no wonder we didn't have good brakes. But it's okay because it's all going to change soon. So what we're going to do is we're not going to crack this thing in half to replace those inner seals. One, because it says not to in the service manual, and two, I don't feel like screwing with it, so we're not going to. And from what I could tell, the caliper itself was not leaking. But what we got here is some basically screwed up pistons, which I'm going to need to clean up real good, which is why I've got the ATF here. This ATF is good for basically helping break down a lot of that crap that's in there. And it's just going to loosen it up, so when we go to actually sand this, it's going to be a little bit easier to deal with, because ATF has a lot of detergents in it and a lot of things that kind of help when it comes to doing that. So it'll help break up a lot of this stuff and make it just a little bit easier to tear down. And it's just generic ATF. It's like the same stuff you'd get. I think it's like Dextron 3 or something like that. So yeah, so I'm going to let those soak for a wee bit. While they're doing that, I'm going to get inside this caliper here and we're going to clean it up. Now that's where we're getting one of these little, I call them a Brillo ball, because that's basically what it is. I take that and just kind of go in here and try to clean out a lot of the gunk inside these bores. But I have to be very careful not to take away too much material, and that's why I got one of these. Because this thing's not going to take a bunch of material. If I was to go at this with some sandpaper, it probably wouldn't come out as good. So yeah, so that's why I'm using this. But we're going to try to especially take care of that bore that got really screwed up from the other piston that was seized inside there. And I'm going to try to get that thing to be nice and clean. So give me a little bit, and I'm pretty sure you'll be surprised with the end result here, because it's going to come out looking pretty damn good.
Now I'd say that came out pretty good. Next, it was time for the rebuild. Yes, that's right, we took our pistons and we started polishing them very carefully. Polishing pistons is very time consuming, and it gives you an opportunity to think about the meaning of life. Like, why am I in my garage? Polishing pistons? I don't know. But dang, isn't that shiny? Oh, well, don't mind that part there. Ooh, or that. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So guys, it looks like the piston is definitely screwed up beyond repair. So, I'm gonna have to go get another piston for that caliper. Hopefully I can find one cheap enough. But before I do that, I gotta go see my grandma. It's her birthday today. She's turning 89, so I'm gonna go over there and celebrate with her. And then on the way home, I'll probably go and see if I can pick up one of those pistons. So, we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Welcome to the future. So it's a few days later. Turned out that caliper piston was too far gone, and I needed to just wrap it all up in one video. I don't want to keep going. So what I did is I ordered the parts again from... Dang, Louie. Chill, bro. I'm trying to talk. So anyway, I ended up ordering the parts from Rock Auto, and they came through again. Got a new caliper for the front. The thing was, they only had it for the one side. Come on, Louie. I need you to get with the program. So they only had it for the one side that I already fixed, because I did it off camera. I didn't want to show the process twice. Louie, we gonna have a problem? What I did is I used the same side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good piston from the other side, move it over to this caliper, and then we'll be able to make it work, and I'll send the core in. Ironically, I managed to get this caliper for, it was $26 plus like a $35 core charge. So after shipping and everything, it was like a $30 caliper, and this is a 4-piston caliper. I'm assuming it's just because it's old and discontinued and nobody's really making them anymore. I don't know. So it may even be cheaper just to buy a caliper if you can find it. For me, I couldn't find any for the driver's side front, and I couldn't find anything for the passenger side rear. So yeah, it's kind of a hassle. But anyway, I'm gonna get to finishing this up. We're just gonna clean up the pistons that we had. We're gonna take the good ones from the passenger side, put them into the driver's side, and then we should have our brakes done. The only other thing I'm gonna do is repaint them because these are silver, the other ones are red, and the ones in the back are some other color. So we're just painting them black. I want them to blend in. Well, I'm not particularly a fan of redoing something I already did, but sometimes that's what we gotta do. Damn, just means I gotta pull these pistons again. That kind of sucks. Oh, there we go, there's one. Yeah, I got them most of the way out. I'm just gonna find the best ones that I can and put it in that caliper. Alright, so good news. I got these two out. These were the two best ones that I could find. These ones don't have any pitting or anything. And I'm gonna basically use these in place of this one that's just, I mean, you can probably see the cracks in there. I think I already showed it earlier. These things are cooked. Like, if you have pitting and cracking like that on the piston, don't use it. Because when it comes to brakes, you don't want to risk flying down the road without any way of stopping yourself. Trust me, it's not fun. I've been there. So yeah, so now we're just going on to the rebuild part, which is pretty simple. Already did most of the cleaning in here, so it's good to go. So we're just gonna take our new pistons and parts, slap it all together. It's very simple. Gonna take our piston, we're gonna lube it up a little bit, probably some brake fluid or the lube that they give us. Slap it in there, slap on one of these seals, and slap on a clip. But before we do all that, I gotta put the O-ring in because I tend to forget these things. So these go in first, and yeah, it's pretty easy. So let's get started. So the first step was just lubing up the O-ring and popping it into place. Then just take some brake fluid and put it inside of a brake cleaner cap because that's all you got. Pretty easy. And then I use the brake fluid to lube up the piston and slide it into the bore. Now sometimes it can be a problem. And if you have problems getting it in and you're having to force it, it might not be fitting right. So if you look, this O-ring wasn't seating properly. Turned out there was a little bit of dirt behind it. So got to make sure they are completely clean and that there's no rust. Like this little guy here. Then I just took some of the lube and lubed up the dust cap. Yeah, that's right. We bring the lube back. And there's really no science here. Just get it all in there, get it nice and lubey. That looks like a good dust cap. And then you just pop the dust cap into that slot. And then after you get that on there, you just need to push down the piston all the way and make sure to put the snap ring on. Alright, so now we got those things all tidied up. I got all of them set up. Now all I need to do is sand it down and get it ready for paint. A couple of them are already done. I did those off camera, and I just got to finish the one we just did. And then we're going to spray it with some paint, but let me show you what it looks like. So here they are. You can see this is the one that we rebuilt. This is the one that we got, rebuilt, and got. So we did half of them essentially. And then we're going to spray them with some of this paint. It's basically just the cheap, you know, duplicolor caliper paint. I want to go with just black because I want them all to match. I don't want this multicolored stuff, and I want it to kind of blend in because when we do this paint job, I don't think red or silver is going to go with it too well. So, yeah. So let's get started. And done. Well, I just saved you guys for about 5 hours of footage, so I think that deserves a like. So, got them all ready to go, so now I'm going to put these up and get ready to paint them. Now, this is my kind of Christmas decorations. So, yeah, if anybody's wondering what to get a car guy, it's a Christmas decoration of Calipers. But, yeah, I got them all hung up, strung up. They're ready to go, so we're going to spray them with some paint and see what happens. Hopefully it comes out pretty good. Yeah, we'll see how they turn out. They might turn out good, they might turn out bad, but either way, they're going to work. So, this is really just for looks. So, let's have some fun. Ooh, I like that. That's a nice color. It's just plain black, but it looks good. I'm just gonna go light on the first coat. Alright, so we're just gonna let those sit for a bit and then we'll come back for a second coat. Alright, so we managed to get these things done. I'm gonna let these things dry overnight, and then by tomorrow we should be able to start working on some of this other stuff. I've been doing body work on the offsides where you guys haven't seen it, but I've just been doing it when I'm waiting in between parts because I'm trying to get this thing done. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Hopefully here pretty soon we'll be getting this paint job done. So put down in the comments if you guys have any suggestions for paint jobs or color schemes, stuff like that. I'm thinking about staying towards our brand colors and stuff like that, but we'll see. I don't know. I haven't quite decided. So if you have any suggestions for paint, mind you, we're doing this on a budget. It is a drift car, so it may not be the prettiest, but it's gonna work. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Hope you all have a great night, and just remember, keep it nice and easy. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because not everybody can make it this far, and you certainly did.